So we're going to get started here. We are at Blake's Crab Cakes, and this is the tasting event that we put on, sort of as a contest and a come all you faithful. Yes, Blake. Yep. We're here with my lovely wife, Abby.
Hello.
Wave. She's kind of hiding behind me over there. Yeah. And then if you could introduce yourself as well.
Hi, my name is Ardena Bosley. Nice to see you.
Yep, and she is our contest winner, and we actually met at the local podcasting meeting every month over in Tampa, and I stood up and I was like, hey, I'm having a contest if anybody likes crab cakes, and I sat down and she's like, what's the website for that contest? And she entered, and she won, so thank you very much for coming out.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Yep, so we're here, we're getting started. Blake's in the back preparing the food. And we're just kind of going to come in and out of the podcast and the show and just kind of give responses on what everyone's thoughts are on the crab cakes and the food. Blake's Crab Cakes is located in Pasadena on Central Avenue, almost all the way to the water. And past, what was that last road we went by?
66 this way.
Yes. What was that? Yeah. That's her.
Here, let me get the door. Need a photo of her.
It's been a while since I've carried a tray. I used to do paper plates. 3 down my arm.
All right.
Smile.
Oh, please no.
And the sweetest of Blake's Crab Cakes associates has just lovingly brought our beers in from next door.
The thing is I don't know what's what. Except for this is yours, I believe, the cucumber.
I think so.
And what's your name and where you're from?
I am from Massachusetts. Kerry. No, I'm not looking at that camera. Not happening.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's okay, we got your pro.
Yep. So I have the Lagunitas Pilsner IPA.
I don't even know we're supposed to be talking about. He doesn't serve beer here, so maybe you should.
He does serve beer here, but
Well-
he doesn't serve these beers.
Oh.
Well, and this
Limited beers.
is just so I can remember it.
Okay.
Where do you have it?
Limited beers.
Mine is a blood orange gose. I
How is it?
haven't tried it yet.
Try it.
Talking to you.
It's nice to know, though, that right next door you can have a whole selection and they don't mind bringing stuff in here.
It's nice.
All right. I keep trying to get her to come on the podcast as a permanent co-host. She has refused to do so.
Could be like Dax Shepard and who's his wife? No, it's Dax Shepard. He's married to what's her name?
I don't know.
I don't
You
know.
don't know the Dax Shepard show? Oh my goodness, it's like #1 almost.
Well, that's the thing. Like with podcasts, there's like thousands and thousands and thousands of them out there. Like I can't keep up with them all anymore. It's crazy.
He's always up there at #1 now.
So you listen to Dax Shepard a lot, or?
Not a lot. My daughter kind of introduced me to him because she listens all the time to him. And then I saw a Netflix special on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And then I started listening to his podcast. I'm like, what? Because his podcasts are really nothing like his Netflix original.
Yeah.
I mean, he's funny. I was just dying on his Netflix original. But his podcasts, though, are very, they're thought-provoking, really, just like Dax Shepard is, too, so.
Completely unlike Great Things Tampa Bay. There is no thought-provoking going on. It's basically just me on there giving my opinion on things.
That's cool. That's very cool.
But so Joe Rogan is basically one of the, if not the largest, one of the largest podcasts. And his positioning now, like he's been doing it for years and years, but people like getting on the Joe Rogan show as an interviewee now is like being on the Tonight Show in the 80s. Like it will make or break you. So.
But it's not like his guests are not like these world famous people. They are just people, and interesting lives with these people, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. What's your favorite podcast?
Besides Great Things Tampa Bay?
Yes. And besides Great Homes Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah, that one too. I like the 99% is one of my favorite. And then What's the history one that I like so much?
Well, it's not hardcore history, I don't think, because I don't think I've listened to that one with you.
Not hardcore, but what's the history one? Stuff you may have missed in history?
Yep, I've done that with the two. It's usually two lady hosts.
Yes. I like that. Ooh, and then the third favorite was This Is the Way I Heard It, or The Way I Heard It.
Oh, yeah. With Mike Rowe.
He has the best voice.
He's got that root.
The way I heard it.
The way I heard it. It's basically, remember the old, and now you know the rest of the story? That's basically what he does.
He takes a story and he shrinks it down, but gives you all of the high points.
And he's like a master
Oh,
storyteller.
he's wonderful. He tells the best stories. You
So,
have to listen to that.
and just like the rest of the story, he's got the lead in the beginning that gets you interested, and then he builds the whole story around it with the reveal at the very end. Yeah, it's good. It's good. And then, I don't know, honorable mention for Bill Burr, because I see you chuckling over there sometimes.
Yeah. I love Bill Burr. Sometimes I can't handle him, but he can get a little bit. He kind of gives you a little anxiety.
Yeah.
Tenses you up a little bit.
Are you familiar with Bill Burr? Okay, so he's kind of like Joe Rogan, but a little bit more extreme as a comedian, I guess you could say.
He's good. He's
Yeah.
good. We've seen him live as well.
Hilarious, but not thought-provoking at all. It's basically just him with the microphone just spewing, for an hour.
He feels like, yeah.
That I would love, I'm sure.
Yep. And 99% Invisible is amazing if
Yes.
you've never heard that one.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I forgot the
Yeah.
invisible part. Yeah, 99% invisible.
Yeah. They basically they take like a common thing and then do a tremendous amount of research on it and present the entire history. So one of my favorite episodes was on the plastic lawn chair, like just the one that's like injection molded. You see it everywhere for like $1.99. They actually went and found the guy who originally designed it and interviewed him. And like what the thought process was behind the design and all that stuff. It's good.
I wonder
It's
if I've
really
seen that, because I saw one that was like that. That was about the pink flamingos.
I'm sure.
And
Yeah, they did
went through the whole business of how it was first came to be, and the person that
Idea. It's so interesting.
it is. How funny.
Yeah, so it was very likely 99 because I know they did a episode on that, and there's like one or two companies in the country that make it.
Yeah.
That's
So we have our first batch out here, and what was this again?
That?
Oh,
Which one?
you don't have to look at the camera, but
Okay. We have the cold blue crab fingers sprinkled with Old Bay. Then we have the sauteed butter and garlic crab fingers. And then Blake's garlic shrimp. And I'm going to come back with something else.
perfect. Thank you very much. And the crab cakes have arrived. Alrighty, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, I think we had the cold ones last time. Yeah.
Because that was Carrie's favorite, she said. So we said, whatever's your favorite, we'll take.
She knows her crab.
I'm the same way. When I go places, I'm always like, I want to. I usually get specials. Like I usually am like I always get the special places. So.
You know, it's something the chef's probably excited about.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, when you're cooking food, like I feel like my menu's small, so I feel like all my stuff is special. You know what I mean? It's stuff like I don't have a menu full of pages of menus. You know what I mean? So everything stays on all the time.
No, people think they want choice.
right.
It's best to limit all that. All right, well let's take a bite here.
Oh, she gave you the sauces. Right.
Oh,
She said this was her thing.
so what's the sauce selections we have
So
here?
the sauces, I didn't have the sauces in the beginning because I'm not super into sauces, but it's something that I came up with over time. It's a sriracha mayo. We call it yum yum sauce. It's like that people love that. We sell it. People buy jars of it actually. They come in and buy jars. Then I just was experimenting. I came up with a version of hot sauce. It's more of like a mild sauce, a little sweetness. And then a cocktail is just it's a standard cocktail, but people love that too. I feel like everything is so simple for me, but I've been making this stuff for a long time. But it's like it's also, and it trips me out how when I see impressions and looks on people's faces when I'm like, really? It's like there's only like 4 things in it.
That is
Yep.
it.
All right, give us the response here.
What? Oh my gosh.
Is your mind blown?
I'm a sauce person. I mean, I am sauce. I'm saucy. I will take. I will. Yeah, I will take sauces like crazy. And I usually will tell somebody at a restaurant who's waiting on me, just you might as well bring extra sauce because I'm going to ask for it anyway.
Right.
And I'm eating this with absolutely nothing added to it because it's just perfect, just the way it is.
I mean, I feel like that's how it should be. It should be like, but I mean, sauces can be complimentary. But you know, as I get older, I'm learning about sauces. Like, one of my favorite places to go to is the Pearl, and he always has these like awesome sauces, and really but yeah, that's sauces are something that I'm trying to get into. But I always just like, I feel like if it's really really good, the sauce isn't totally necessary.
All right, let's try this crab cake.
Oh yeah. Are you videotaping your response?
Yes.
Very good. It's so nice to find somebody that knows how to cook a shrimp.
So, the first thing you notice with this crab cake is how much crab is in it.
It's like,
All crab, no cake.
Yeah.
that's
Like,
why crab is first. Crab cake.
yeah. And then there is some herbs and spices, and then it's not over fried, like it's right.
We call it
Perfect.
flash fried. We always like to say it as flash fried because I never want deep fried. You know, I never want to see it come out. In fact, those are more brown than I ever want. I like it to come out golden. I hate when you get something and it comes out and it's like dark. You know, it just that's not appealing to me. You know what I mean?
Well, because all I can taste is just like the char.
Right, but in Maryland, a lot of people prefer their crab cakes broiled, and we do that here too. But I always like mine fried, and but it's like fried, but not deep fried.
Well, you're in the South. I mean, there's only so much.
Right.
Well, all right. So give us a little bit of your backstory. Like, where are you from? How did you learn to make such masterful crab cakes here?
So I'm from Maryland, Baltimore, and I've been making crab cakes my whole life, and I mean legit making them my whole life. I used to always have friends and family and people come and they'd be like, you know, I hope you're making crab cakes, stuff like that. So, and I just decided to come. My best friend, who I've been best friends with he came to my school in 9th grade, so over 25 years, moved to Seminole, and I was looking for a lifestyle change, and I just came down here and, you know, I guess essentially bet on myself. I was like, I'm going to go down there. And, you know, people have been hitting me up for crab cakes forever, so I'm going to go down there and find a little spot and, you know what I mean, do crab cakes. So here we are.
Yep. And how long have you been open?
Just over 2 years. It was December 9th was 2 years for us, so.
All right. Excellent. Yeah, so she remembered this, but the first time I came in here, you know, I introduced myself and all that.
She's good.
And
She
yeah,
doesn't like to be on camera.
she's wonderful. She's a little camera shy.
Camera shy.
But no, I was like, I usually have to eat at a place twice before I recommend it to people.
I remember that's how she ended.
And I was like, all of this is so good, and I could tell there was such care put into it. I was we started recommending this to people like right off the bat. Yeah,
Immediately.
It didn't
Yeah.
take 2 trips.
No.
like that same day, we're like, holy shit! Like, if you like crab cakes, this is the place to go.
And that's good. That's why the business is here, for people to get it. You know, once in a while we have people come in. Oh, $12.99 for a crab cake, and you know, honestly, you know, they can go somewhere. Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, I don't want to be, but it's.
They go somewhere else. Get
Yeah,
some
you can
stuff
go
mixed
and
with
get
a little
something
crab.
that's bread and not crab, but you know, it's yeah. So it's all good.
Yeah.
No, Mr.
You're putting on a quality product.
Right.
You're not. I think it's well worth. I think your prices
And
are great, and you're.
It's in an unassuming atmosphere, which is what I love. You know, you come into an atmosphere like this, doesn't matter. You can come in right off the beach
Right.
Yeah,
and get a high class meal.
Well, it actually grew
Paper
into
plate.
over time. It grew into this. When I came down here, I just wanted to keep it so simple, and I wanted it to be I was only envisioning a carry out. I did the build out in here, but I just wanted to do a carry out crab cake place. And then over time, it's like, you know, it was just this table that's here. So it was just it was like 5 seats in the front, and then we added that table, and then now you can see the counters don't match there because we're sliding it back. And then the long-term goal is to slide that counter completely back and add 2 tables right here. So it grew into that. It's like people want to come and sit down and eat, and you know, I get that, but it's just that's what ended up happening.
No, I love it, and I love like the starting from basically like zero and building it up.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Did you have any like experience before you came down here and started?
Yeah. So I worked at a restaurant in Maryland called Pierce's Plantation. It was one of the it was actually the restaurant when I worked there, and my crab cake recipe is partially from there and partially a recipe my father gave me. So, and I kind of took it. I always take recipes and make my own. You know what I mean? Like this is what I do. And like when I make my batch, I don't measure. Like I have a way of doing it. You know what I mean? And it's to do it the same way. So, what was the original question?
Did you have restaurant experience before coming down here?
Yeah, so I worked at Pierce's Plantation, and then I left from Pierce's Plantation, and I worked at a really famous sub shop called Giorgio's. So I honestly took a lot of stuff from both of those places. I took the high-end kitchen stuff, and then the sub shop, and I took a lot of tricks from all of them. Yeah. I took a lot of tricks from both of them.
And she said she wouldn't work here if the crab cake sucked. Yeah. She told us that last time.
Well, that's the thing is she says when people come in, they ask her, she's what's good, and she says everything, and it's like people automatically think that you're just saying that, but it's like how do you explain to people that no, I'm not just giving you a sales pitch, legit everything is good.
Now, so we've had there's like 4 entrees we've had here.
Fries earlier, and legit.
Yeah, so we've had French fries, crab cakes, 2 styles of crabs, and then garlic shrimp, right?
Garlic shrimp, yeah.
The crab fingers,
and
we call them.
And every one of these things has that same level of care and attention, and also like simple preparation.
Simplicity, absolutely, yeah.
That's how it'll always be. It'll always be because I'm always, no matter what, I'm not going to be a person that comes and opens a business and just after the business gets successful, I roll out. Like, I like being here. Like, I like doing it. And I need something to do. My mind is always running. So if I need something to do. So
and your name's on the door.
And my name is on the door, right? Exactly. And that's a really valid point because it's like I don't want to have something with my name on it coming out. Like sometimes she'll hold it down like in the afternoons and I'll run out and I'm like constantly worried about, obviously she'll be fine, but I'm like constantly worried about like, is it going to be okay? Or I hope, it's like, so yeah, I mean, if your name is on something, it has to be good. I mean, my name, I guess, I really respect that.
No, it shows an attention to detail and care for the product,
Right.
Like I wish most restaurants would have that.
Yeah. I don't want anybody to have a bad experience. I mean, obviously, that comes about, but it's like I want everybody to love it. I mean, obviously, but it's not it's not like a big money making thing for me. I mean, obviously we're in business to make money, but it's not like something that I'm like, obviously I'm not going to get rich off of this.
You're not looking like cash in, franchise it.
I have things, money and other things, so it's like this is like just something for me to do essentially.
The passion project.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the long term goal is I want to be in a smaller restaurant space, but I don't want to be in a big restaurant. I want to be in a small restaurant that I can have the ship sailing like totally smoothly, and where I can just come and hang out and talk to people and just keep an eye on the food coming out and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like that's the long term goal.
Well, I just had the first bite of the garlic shrimp. That is ridiculously good. Well, do y'all have any questions for Blake or anything, or thoughts? Anything you want to add?
Just love it. Just delicious.
So, and I stood up we met at the podcasters meeting, and I stood up. I was like, hey, if anybody likes crab cakes, I'm doing a contest. We're having a tasting event. And, everyone was like, ugh. And I sat down, and she was like, what's the web address for that contest? I have to enter it. And it turns out she won, so.
I've been here 7 years, and I haven't found a decent crab cake anywhere until today.
That's the idea.
Yeah. You would think, I moved from one peninsula to another peninsula. I'm from Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And the seafood there is just delectable. It's a
Right.
different type of seafood, different flavor, different texture, everything. But you would think that you would find a decent crab cake here in Florida.
Right.
And there's a lot of bad food here.
Yeah.
You know, but you.
That's what she always says. I'm like,
There
you
is.
don't want to talk bad about anybody,
No.
but it's true. I mean, it's true.
I'm not naming any names, but people will just say, you know, there's just a lot of people that they feel okay putting their name on the plaque outside.
Right.
Like you said, that's your name out there,
Right.
you know? And what you deliver is a quality product, and, you know, it's that. I have no problem with the price, with the quality.
Might be okay, and no.
Well, the
I
problem,
literally gave up
any
seafood for
anybody that has a problem with the price hasn't tasted the food.
Exactly.
If you have a problem, I mean, because obviously you come here and you see it, it's like it's a small place, and you know it's not super cheap. It's like, I mean, I was in Maryland. My favorite restaurant in Maryland, Michael's Cafe. Shout out to them. I mean, they're like, I know the family, and it's not just because I know the family. It's always my favorite crab cake. 5.5 ounce crab cake is either $26 or $28 there. So, so it's like, yeah, it's like half price here.
So I feel that like a lot of the problem is, so like I grew up here and have been around seafood all my life. Like my dad fished all the time, and the main problem is we're in the South, so it's all like fried or something, like something's done to it. Yeah, like I really don't like freshwater fish, but we went to Wisconsin this past year up on the Great Lakes to Door County up there, and we had like we didn't.
White Lake perch.
Yeah, just a perch,
Right.
which I've had here, and it's completely different. Like it was so crisp and nice,
Right.
and yeah, and like most of the good seafood here is, most of the seafood here is either like fried or, yeah, or it's like grouper sandwiches or something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, with fish, if you get legit, you know, everybody says fresh fish, but if you get a piece of fresh, Wahoo's up on Reddington is like, it's kind of a dive, but it's like so legit. I was there, like my dad and my stepmom were here. We went on Monday night, and it's just like, it's, you know, but it's like, you know, you go online, you see people complaining about the service. It's like not a fancy place, but if you want a piece of fresh fish, that place is awesome.
Yeah, we did. I would say like our favorite like seafood experience was probably Celine on St. Pete Beach the one time we went.
But it closed.
Yeah, but they've been closed indefinitely since like last April. So
Wahoo's is awesome. I love that place.
no, up in Dade City.
No, the Pearl, it's on Treasure Island. Chef's name is Karim.
There's a few places around called the Pearl.
Well, it's the Pearl. It's on Treasure Island. I'm there all the time. He's a really, really good. He's an amazing chef, and you know, pays attention to detail, and you know, it's like he's a.
We'll have to try it out.
Yeah.
You know, if you recommend it, shit.
My question for you is, what is your favorite item on the menu that's obviously popular, and what's something that people don't pick that's not the most popular but you think is the best?
Honestly, I would have to say the best thing on the menu would be the crab cake, but I was tired of crab cakes before I even opened this place. So if I was going to eat something, it would be either shrimp salad or the Old Bay wings. That would be my dad's famous beef. Like that beef sandwich is unbelievable. It's like it's an eye roast, and we serve it cold. It has like a rub of spices, and it's medium rare, and it's served on a roll, and that is super legit. So, and then my mother's macaroni and shrimp salad, which I kind of made my own. Shout out to my mom, but I just made up my own kind of thing with it. But that is another thing that's really, really good too.
The macaroni salad with shrimp.
Yeah.
The soup is delicious.
The soup is good. Yeah, I mean the soup is great. Those are my things.
Have your parents been down here to see the place?
Yeah, my mother's retired. She's here all the time, constantly here. And my dad and his wife were here last Monday too. So actually, we were all at my house. My mother.
Did you make them crab cakes?
Father, and a new one. They came here for crab cakes. I don't make crab cakes at home. If I'm gonna cook at home, I'm gonna not make crab cakes because I'm gonna do.
I can appreciate that.
If I'm going to cook at home, home, I'm going to be at the Pearl.
Right. No, I mean, yeah, right, that too. But I like. I mean, I can pretty much make anything. You know what I mean? But I like to go to places. When I go out to eat, I like to go to places where, I mean, I always appreciate good quality food, which is one of my things. But if I like to go to places like that. You take a bite and you just, usually I can take a bite of things and I know exactly what's in it. And, you know, so I like places like Il Ritorno, the Reading Room, you know, places that you take a bite of it and it's so good and you just don't know. For me, I don't know what's in it. Like that's when I'm like
Just dissecting it. It's like the fun.
You like the surprise and the mystery a little bit?
I don't do it purposely. It's just something that happens. It's like, you know, I taste it, you know, garlic sauce, you know, whatever. Like,
Well, it's kind of like a magician, you know. It's like, how do they do that trick, you know?
There's umami. I don't know what this umami is. It's
Right.
sense of sort.
and Alto Mare and Anata, yeah, like those are some of those awesome.
Well, so this is the inaugural tasting event, and like chef interaction for Great Things Tampa Bay. So thank you very much for helping make this happen.
Pearl will be our next.
Yes, and I want to invite you to all subsequent ones. Like, you're welcome to come along.
And I mean, we can work on it. We could have something, you know, like let's pick a place together. Like, yeah, that'd be awesome.
You
Yeah,
can be the official chef's opinion.
you'd be like, no,
You're
no.
the official only person born and raised in Florida.
I'm the official
We're not
native.
gonna go anywhere that gets a thumbs down, though.
Yes, and the one question I got from people whenever I posted this was, so is this like some bullshit crab cakes, or is this like authentic Maryland, Baltimore crab cakes?
I'm gonna see for themselves.
Wait, Blake's motto is all crab, no cake. Literally, you're gonna get all fresh blue crab, and there's no peppers, corn, celery, all this filler. Every bite you're gonna bite into fresh blue crab. What's better than that? Nothing. But Blake's crab cakes.
It's true. It's true. Well, that's all right. We got the audio.
That's why Blake blocking me. Hello.
Yep. Well, no, because most crab cakes I've had in Florida are, I call them more like hush puppies with a touch of crab in them. You know, like it's because hush puppies are great. I love them. Don't get me wrong. I was born and raised in the South, but a crab cake needs more crab. Just like conch fritters. You know, like we had the good conch fritters.
Sea Critters has really good conch fritters down by Paso Grill.
We're gonna have to go. That is one of our favorite hidey holes.
Yeah. You know, one of the things too with crab cakes, with crab in general, is so the majority of the crab that comes out is pasteurized, which you know, they pasteurize it so it'll last a year, and it comes in a can, and you know, that's good stuff. But if you want to get the best, the absolute best, like, you got to get the fresh crab. But if you're dealing with fresh crab, which I do, you're only going to have, you know, a couple days of shelf life with it. Like, it's not going to last an eternity. And so most people, that being said, most people get the pasteurized crab in the can, which, you know, I'm not saying it's bad, it's just not as good.
It's easier to deal with. So
Do you shell the crab, or does it already come? Like, do you already have it?
yeah, like how do you source it? Is it local or is it?
So it, depending on, you know, where the market is, the best crab, I think the best crab out there right now is coming from Venezuela, and it is like that's the stuff that's here today. It's cheaper, but it's loaded with shells. So if you're gonna serve that, you have to, you know, it's my business, so I'm able to, you know, glide my hands through it and make sure that pick the big shells out. You know what I mean? So, but if it wasn't me doing it, how do you have somebody and trust that they're gonna get the, you know? I mean, you would have to, you know. So, but to me, that's the best tasting crab out there.
No, that's cool.
But and in the Gulf too, there's a lot of awesome crab in the Gulf. I don't get people say, do you get the crab from Maryland? I mean, it's like blue crab is blue crab. To me, the Venezuelan is the best tasting crab that you can get.
No, that's cool.
Use the help right now. Right.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Give them the business. I'm with that. I'm for it. Go Venezuela.
I mean, yeah, all that is. Well, I also have people that come at me on Facebook like, I can't believe you buy your crab from Venezuela, and it's like, you know, well, I don't know. Ask them because they're on there. I can't believe leave. It's whatever.
Well, no, you gotta
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
We're having a hard time right now.
Well, no, you have to source good products, and I can say like the Florida seafood market is a little odd compared to like the Great Lakes or like Baltimore, where there's like an actual market. Like here, we have that a little bit, but there's not like I know I get this question all the time where people are like, "Hey, where can I go get fresh fish or fresh shrimp, like fresh off the boats?" And I'm like, maybe if you look out and talk to the guy on the boat, maybe.
One of the problems I feel like, and it's just the way everything works, is that you have these big companies that come in and they just take everything. They have these companies that come in, they get the crabbers, they got all the crabbers, and and those guys are out there crabbing or shrimping. They know that they can get their money every time, and it's all going to be sold because he's big. And that's just how it's like Home Depot taking out the small, right, exactly, right. It's
The Gordon's fisherman is a billionaire.
right, exactly.
That's cool. Well, do y'all have any other questions or any comments?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate.
I can't wait to introduce you to my son Robbie next week. We're going to be in. Yeah.
We look forward to that.
Next Friday.
Oh, I do have another question for you. Do you ever cater events or do large parties, or is that something you will do in the future if you don't do now?
So the way it works is that it's not something that I push, but one of the things is that people always hit me up. They're always like, because I have the crab balls, which are they're like little crab cakes, so like little mini crab cakes, and people just come in and they tell me what they want. I make it, I give them a break on the price or whatever. So that's how it works. I mean, it's not like something that we push, but if people ever want anything, I always take care of it.
Crab balls would be a great advertisement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these two, the fingers.
So in my line of business, I work with a lot of real estate agents, and we do brokers opens, open houses, events. So
They come and get them for
That or the crab fingers.
yeah, so I will make sure that I order from you guys for my next event. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because this is amazing, and
It is amazing.
and this stuff would work everywhere, like from
Yeah.
like luxury homes all the way down to Joe Sixpack.
Right.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, Blake, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. My hands don't have any crab batter on them.
Yeah, we got battered earlier.
Is there anything that you want to cover that we didn't talk about, just to kind of just for your message?
I'm always big on what happens organically, I don't know, I feel like we covered everything.
Carrie, what do you think? Is there anything that he didn't say
Yes,
that you
she's the
think?
one that
Get her on,
Such a good
get her on,
saleswoman.
get her on camera.
No, honestly, I will say
Get
this
her on
about
camera.
Carrie when we came in. When we came in the first time, the first time I met you, I loved how much you cared about the restaurant and the product and being here, and you were such a steward and like a good welcome wagon just to come in and say, this is what you need, this is what you need to get, trust me, do this. And literally I loved it so much. You took the whole thought process out of it for me, and everything was so amazing, and we enjoyed everything, and you really you are a star for
Well,
sure.
thanks,
Yeah.
but I have pride in what I do, and I enjoy what I do, so, and I have faith in his food, so.
Yeah.
So, that's what it is.
And we'll get you over this camera shyness at one day.
It's coming to work knowing that you have this amazing thing. You know what I mean? Not to toot my own horn, but it's like we have an awesome thing. You know what I mean? To come to work and know that, and you know that you don't have to deal with people complaining, and to put good energy out there. You know what I mean? So.
Work chemistry. And that's important to love who you work with. Yeah.
We get to she'll be waiting on people up here, and then she'll come back in the kitchen and help. Yeah, she does. But we have a really good where it's we don't have specific things that we do, and it's just but we just cover each other's back, and it just works really, really well. So it's
And it
great.
is just me and him.
It's a 2-man operation still. All right.
Yeah, two-man operation.
Hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah. So
No, 11 to 8. 11 to 8.
so the name of the place is Blake's Crab Cakes, and located at.
7224 Central Avenue, St. Pete, next to Treasure Island.
There you go. So if you're heading to Treasure Island or
Not
back.
downtown, because we have people that come through oh, I thought you were downtown, and it's no.
No. So on Central Avenue, stop in, say hello, grab some delicious crab cakes. Thank you so much for helping. Oh, and what's your hours of operation?
11. It's 11 to 8, Tuesday through Friday, actually, and 11. Saturdays are tricky because sometimes we sell out of crab on Saturdays because it's like I want to be closed for 2 days. So once it's gone, it's gone. So it's like 11 to 7 on Saturday, but sometimes it could be 6 or sometimes it could be 8, depending on what's left.
So get here early.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, guys, and
Come here and get us so we can go home. Get here early so we can go home.
come get some delicious crab cakes.